Welcome back, everyone, to River and Sea, where I am back here in Elrond after gathering the Grey Company to find out what I need to do next.
Hope is not in vain.
By your efforts, the summons was brought throughout Eriador, and now the Dunedain have responded. Many of their numbers have come to Imladris, and they prepare to depart for the southern lands that they may come to Aragorn in time of his need. You will ride with them, if you see fit to do so, but I have been made aware that my daughter desires first to speak with you. She is in Imdolan, on the slope north of Imladris, overlooking the road that climbs up into the Misty Mountains. Alright, so I need to speak to Arwen, who for some reason is just looking out over the slope. Well, let's see what she needs. One would think that she would have maybe a chair of some sort, or maybe a table or something like that, so she could sit when she gets tired instead of just looking out over here constantly while standing. Well, let's see. It is quite a view, I must admit.
My own undertaking has come to an end, and its fruit waits now for a bearer.
You have returned from your errand, and I have come to speak with me, as I asked. My delight cannot be hidden, friend, for my own undertaking is also come to an end. I have made this gift for Aragorn. The days are short, and it may be that our hopes will soon be ended. This standard I have made for him that will fly at the time of his choosing, and he will know for what he fights. May it bring courage to my Elfstone and those with whom he stands. Bring this gift and my words to Halbarad by the stables in Imladris, and he has consented to bear them both on the journey south. Alright, so I need to... And he has consented to bear this gift... Oh, and the words. Ah, okay. Very well. Very well, I shall bring it to Halbarad. Now, don't ask me why Halbarad couldn't bring it himself, but that's an entirely different matter. I believe that Halbarad is somewhere around the area of the stables. Now, I do wonder, why do all of these have these quest information items on here?
It was a long ride from the Northlands, but I too have come to Rivendell.
Alright. So, a little information on that they have arrived.
I will carry this burden on our journey.
You make it sound like he's carrying the One Ring or something. You bring both a gift and a message for my chief from the late Arwen? I see. I will carry this burden on our journey. It will come to Aragorn, though all the perils of our road lie in between. When will this standard be unfurled, I wonder? And against what sky will it be raised aloft? Well, I guess we'll find out at some point.
All is nearly ready.
While I finish the final preparations for our departure, I ask that you speak with some of those who will accompany us south. Ensure that they are prepared for the road and rested enough for the first leg of our journey. I saw Guladir just to the northeast some minutes ago speak within the Elrohir. Roddenir was just to the east of the two of them, beneath the footbridge. Lothrandir is just across the way, speaking with his horse, Mithul. Speaking with his horse, okay? And he knows a great deal about the lands through which we would pass. Lothrandir or the horse? Ask him if he has any further information about the road which may help us move with haste. Once you have spoken with these four, find Candate in the stables gate and speak to him about what lies ahead. Right, so... okay, well, this is the standard. It's full of stars. Alright. Hello, do you have anything more to say?
Mithul is ready for the next leg of the journey.
Ah, you most definitely do have. Mithul is ready for the next leg of the journey, yes. Uh, Indeed, his kind may be more prepared for what awaits us than the others of this company. After all, Mithil's eyes will be to the road underfoot, watching for loose stones and wind-blown branches. The eyes of the Dunedain must be to the horizon, keeping watch over the foes that may seek to slow our errand. I have spoken with Halbrad and his sons of Elrond about the road that we will take, south through the Trollshalls and into Eregion, there to rest at Ehad Eregion before passing south into Enedwaith. A number of Dunlending tribes called that area home when last I journeyed there. Some were friendly to outsiders, but most were not. The Dreigluth, the Hedvagluth, they are those you would be wise not to cross, and I will do my best to ensure that the great company does not entangle with them. Okay, we certainly fail miserably about not entangling with the Hedvagluth. Perhaps we should have taken that hint earlier. Oh well. I guess we were just trying to keep them from being on our bad side. No matter how much that failed. Oh, Gullidir! I know that's a bit of a spoiler, isn't it?
My horse Legimbod is rested and ready for the next leg of the journey.
I presume the horse told you, right? Ah, yes. And he is ready to undertake the next leg. His saddlebags are as light as I can make them, while still keeping the supplies that we will need. Gullidir takes a small pendant from one of his pockets and idly passes it from one hand to the other as he looks about the yard. This refuge has not changed in the many years since I last came here, but surely I, myself, must be unrecognizable. So much has happened, and so little of it good. But the ride here was a marvel, and I could feel the weight of my past falling from my shoulders with the feel of the breeze upon my face. Legimbod delighted in the speed, and I delighted with him. The southward journey will be both of us some good. I am ready to be off again. All right, good to see you in nice spirits. Now we have Radania, I think this way.
I will do my duty with no complaint, and Glorrengur will do the same.
Glorrengur did not break a sweat in the short ride from Thorinhide here to Rivendell. He was ready to begin even yesterday. I could say the same for myself. I returned to Thorinhall to say goodbye to Eldwelth, but I would not find her anywhere at the camp. I had meant to return this hairpin that she had given me, but perhaps she feared the farewells. I suppose I did as well. We will soon set forth. I do not know what the future will bring us, but I will do my duty with no complaint, and Glorrengur will do the same. All right, and I suspect that I was not paying attention enough, and that Elro here is up this way. Sometimes I forget which twin I'm talking to. Is he up there? Oh no, here he is, hiding in the brush.
My father had some curious words for me.
Yes, my father said that the time is approaching when we would no longer hold back, when we must do more than defend against the actions of the enemy. He said that the time is coming when we may need to wager everything on a final throw, and by so doing we will have done all that we can. Better a death in far-off lands in the service of chance, however small, than a death at home a certainty. We may not return from this journey. My brother and I are at peace with that. I hope that you and these Dunedain are as well, for I would counsel any who are not to stay behind. Alright, so now talk to Candate. Candate is this away.
Everyone is nearly ready to ride.
Everyone's ready to ride. Are you familiar with our history, Piney? As you are joining us on this journey, surely to go down into the annals of the Dunedain, I would have you hear some of it, if you have not already. Ooh, I'd say about how many characters have I taken through this quest so far? We have some moments. Let me tell you about our history, that you may understand the weight that which we are about to do. Ooh, okay.
I have been pleased to record much of the history of the Dunedain.
The early years of the Third Age saw the death of Isildur and his eldest sons. But his line was not ended, for his youngest son was kept safely here in Rivendell. He was raised far from the danger and came to rule in the northern kingdom. His descendants would not know peace, for the Nazgûl were to reappear, and their chief would wage war upon the men of the west. In the year 1974 of the Third Age, the armies of the Witch King seized Fornost. The North Kingdom was no more, and its ruler Arvedui fled northward to Forhel. But there he was lost, along with the heirlooms of his house. I think I have some memory of Arvedui. I spoke with him once. Right? Oh no, that's right. I did do that part of the quest. Okay, some of my alter egos have done it. Some of the Dunedain journeyed into the icy ways to recover them. Do you wish to hear of their quest? Well, should we hear of their quest, or should we listen to the shortened account? In the year 1975 of the Third Age, a party of Dunedain led by the brothers Laganid and Harador traveled north into Forhel to reclaim the relics left behind in the flight from the wreck of Fornost. Well then, let us speak, and we are going to be doing the long account today, it looks like. We have come this far without incident of Laganid, but the road north is certain to become more dangerous. Little is known of the snowmen of Forhel, but if they are opposed to the Witch King, we will surely find them to be allies. Still, the ship bearing our Vedui should have returned by now, and its absence fills me with worry. We must press onward, no matter what we find. The sooner we learn what has befallen King Arvedui, the sooner we may leave this cold land. There are worms in the rise up ahead. Use your skills at remaining unseen and clear the path for us, that we may bring the wagon up and the road to safety. The trade goods that we bring may loosen the tongues of the snowmen as to the fate of our king. Okay, so therefore you bring gifts so that we may purchase the information that we need, or maybe purchase the...
Lyganid's ability to remain unseen was unrivaled in the north.
Alright, then I will try to remain unseen. And try to stalk. Okay, there's a worm right up there. Okay, so we will place a mark there. And whap. A good start. And another one. We one-shot them all. Looks like there's something like 2,700 damage on that shot. Oh, and they only have 2,000 morale. Okay, so I'm just barely one-shotting them. But if that's minimum damage, then what?
Lygonid worked quickly, and soon half of the worms were defeated. Only 3 remained.
Certainly he didn't spend any time talking or blabbing his mouth or anything like that. Well, I guess it's hard to be stealthy when you're doing so. Fortunately, these worms appear to be deaf, at least to a narrator's voice. Here we go. I guess that's the magic of narration. They can't hear you. And we make it 6 for 6.
Lygonid cleared the path of the winter worms and returned to Hyrdor.
Yay! Let's head on back and tell them that we had accomplished our mission. Everything is fine. No worms to worry about. And I'm most definitely not lost, right? Oh. Yeah. Didn't take the wrong road in any way whatsoever, right? Here we are. Okay, yes. I was the best at stealth and shooting down prey. I was not the best at tracking, right? Even my own trail. Very good, Lygonid. Now that the worms are cleared from the pass, we can resume our journey northward into Forhel to learn what we may learn. Yeah, thank you for that nugget of wisdom. The party continued to travel north, coming at last to the shores of the Ice Bay. We have come to the end of our road, Lygonid. Look there! The ship that was to carry King Arvedri back home lies in ruin. Wish now as you never that before. Wish that he was not aboard the vessel when it broke apart. We cannot tarry here, though the dread lies heavily upon my heart. Hurry, Lygonid. There you go. This way. There are people ahead, but no sign.
Even as they raced along the shore, they knew what awaited them. Hasika, the chieftain of that people, simply shook his head.
You are the people of the Tall King?
It was not a question. The Dunedain had been expected.
If you speak of King Arvedri, know that he is our liege. What has become of him? The Tall King sheltered for us at a time until the great sea monster came. We warned him not to climb atop it. Our soothsayer smelled danger on the air. He did not listen. Uh-oh. Well, of course, because we know what happened to Arvedri. How could this happen? The power of the Witch King is very strong in winter. His ice broke the sea monster's back. Who now will rule your people? Did the Tall King have no sons?
Lygonid explained then to Hasika that Arvedri had a son. The line would continue.
Well, that's good to hear, I guess. I am glad the Tall King had a son to continue his rule. Long may his heirs rule their faraway peoples. He spoke of great treasures and valuable things. He said that they were carried upon the sea monster's back, and that they could be used against the Witch King for the betterment of both of our peoples. But now, all is lost. Nothing comes back out of the frozen water. Only the treasure that he gave to me remains. Oops. Wait, what treasure is this? Before he left us, at his peril, the Tall King gave me a ring. He said that it had no power, so it wasn't the one ring, but his people would give much to have it back. I agree. Langer, we need a word with you. It must be the ring of Barahir. It possesses no power save its value as an heirloom of the house of Isildur, but its value in ancestry cannot be doubted. Did the king or Vedui have some sense of the fate that awaited him? Surely not, but it is curious that the ring has escaped where he was unable. We have brought great store of provisions with us. We will barter for the return of the ring, and it will go south with us, though its master cannot. We must be content with that. Not much of a consolation, but I guess it'll work. It was in this way that the Ring of Barhir was saved. For more than 900 years the descendants of Arvedui ruled as chieftains of the Dunedain. So, what happened next? Now we are... I guess he'll tell us who we are. This is Glangon. We are almost there, Korgur, for good or ill. I fear that we will not find Arador, our chieftain, still alive, but we cannot call off the pursuit until we know for certain. The hill trolls of the Ettenmoors have made their homes here in the Troll Heights, and the tracks lead into the cleft just ahead. I will climb the rise and scout the area from above. There are goblins in these parts as well. I leave their fates up to you. But know that the trolls must be our main concern. Good fortune, Korgor. We may not be too late for our chief. Alright, so we are looking for our chieftain. Defeat the Hillsers that seized Arador. So Arador is our chieftain.
In the year 2930 of the Third Age, Arador, the chieftain of the Dunedain, was taken captive by hill trolls.
Well, we will have to deal with that.
Korgur and Glengon, two of his closest allies, journeyed far into the Ettenmoors to rescue him.
Let's see what we can do about these goblins. Haha! So true, they didn't see me strike. Then we'll do it again. They have no idea. He's utterly confused. So we will utterly destroy these. There are a lot of goblins here. This looks like it's going to take a little time.
Korgur carefully dealt with the goblins he encountered.
Yeah, I can see. Calculated strikes. Calculated to call the goblins, right? Calculated to call. Yeah, I think that works. Okay. And there.
The goblins would long whisper of the shadow that cut down their fellows that day.
They're wondering, what's going on? It's almost like there's a Dunedain picking us off one by one. Can't be that, right? Surely not.
The goblins fell before him, and Korgur came to the den of the hill trolls.
Well, now. Okay, well, it looks like I got that off just in time. So I only have to worry about 2 of them instead of 3 of them. Let's see if I can. Oops, a daisy. Okay, that's 2 of them. Oh. I guess I don't know what all that these things do. Obviously, one of them stuns. So we'll just give them a little bit.
The trolls were defeated, but it was too late. The chieftain of the Dunedain was dead.
What? No. Oh. Oh, Arador, Arador. Alas, we're too late. Arador has been slain. Curse those vile trolls. Glangon wipes away a tear and composes himself as best he may. His son Arathorn is chieftain of the Dunedain now, though he once is not, and him newly married as well. There is nothing for it, Corrigur. We must return with this sad news. I pity Arathorn for the responsibility that he now falls upon him, but we must console ourselves with the knowledge that the line of Isildur will continue. What a sorrow if it were to end in this world. May Arathorn reach a different fate from his father. Let none come to the Trollshaw's height without remembering the fate of the chieftain of the Dunedain. From this point forward, this height will be known as Arador's End, and will be a warning to all. A warning to whom, I wonder? Oh, well. The Rangers fervently hoped that Arador's son Arathorn would rule long as their chief, but it was not to be. 1 year after the birth of his son, Aragorn, Arathorn was slain by orcs, and his wife fled to Rivendell. And this up ahead is Aragorn, though he is definitely not in Rivendell. We have been friends for many years, Tugon, and we have explored the wild lands of Eredor together. Your friendship means a great deal to me, but I have said nothing for which you should be angry with me. I have told you before that I plan to adventure in the Southlands, then to return when I have done deeds worthy of my father and grandfather. You cannot come with me, my friend. If I am to lead the Dunedain, needs must I perform feat worthy of that obligation. It is something that I must do alone, Tugon. Well, you can't learn leadership skills alone, though.
In the year 2956 of the Third Age, Aragorn was about to make an important acquaintance.
I wish to see the great kingdoms of the south. Who is that on the road ahead? Few travelers take that way. You're a long way from home, old man. What brings you to this road?
The old man smiled with amusement.
What you say is true. It might also be said of you, Aragorn, son of Arathorn. How do you know my name? No, Tugon, I do not believe this man is our enemy. I know a great deal about you. I know that you were fostered by Elrond of Rivendell after the death of your father. I know that he has told you something of your noble lineage, and I know that he has given you heirlooms of your house, shards of Narsil, and the ring of Barahir. But how do you know these things, old man? I know them because of my business to know. I am Gandalf.
Yes, it was Gandalf, and if Aragorn in his youth spoke roughly, the wizard surely forgave him.
Gandalf. There are great things in store for Aragorn, your chieftain, Tugon, but he must arrive at them in his own time. It is the solemn duty of all the Dunedain to protect him, for he is descended from Isildur in line unbroken, and one day he must rule in Gondor. Gandalf smiles with amusement, peering at you from underneath his eyebrows. But these are mighty words, and the time is still far off. We all have work to do before that day comes, not just Aragorn, and not just, in our small way, the wizards, but you as well, Tugon. You will not travel with Aragorn on this journey into the kingdom of the south, for he has made up his mind, but you still have your role to play. In friendship you will carry out and have victory, I am certain, for that is a weapon no servant of the enemy fully understands. So, Alright, so what is two going to have to say about that? Well, how about Aragorn? What does he have to say about it? Elrond has spoken to me of Gandalf the Grey, and I am ashamed that I did not recognize him at first, Tugon. Still, he has warmth, though perhaps he tries to hide it. There were many things that I wanted to ask him, should we ever meet, but now I cannot think of any. What a chance meeting! Let us continue on to Lothlorien, and perhaps then I will remember the questions that I wished to ask. All right. And that is our little bit of history. That is quite a history.
All of the Dunedain have played their parts. So it will be with us.
And so it was that Aragorn, heir of Isildur, through unbroken line down the long years, began his friendship with Gandalf, the Grey Pilgrim. He will be known by the sword that he bears, Anduril, Flame of the West, and the Ring of Barahir, once lost but since regained. It is the task of the Dunedain, and indeed of all friends of Aragorn, to ensure that he safely comes to his birthright. We will not question if this is the time for the ascension to his kingdom. It must be so. Ride with us, Pinesea, for we will ride into history. Legoland and Herodor, Kurgur and Glangon, all are remembered for the parts they played in the great drama of the age. So it will be with us.
Speak with Halbarad to see if he has any advice before we depart.
All right, I shall do so. I will speak to Halbarad. And then we get to start riding all the way down to the south. Deep down.
We will all gather again for a rest at Gwingris in Eregion.
Our preparations are complete, and some of the Dunedain have already mounted their horses and begun to ride. You do the same, and engage one of the horses of these stables, and we will be off. Lothrindir and I have chosen a course that will take us south on several legs, the first of which leads us through the Trollshalls and into Eregion. We will meet up at Gwingris in Eregion, and we will have some rest there. All right. And that is where I am going to meet you when we return for the next episode of River and Sea.